Dear participants, please be reminded that our event will start soon in 8 more minutes. Thank you. Hi, Miss Carr. Good afternoon.
Hi.
So we will be waiting for a couple of minutes, like about 5 minutes. Then because the candidates, I think they haven't ready yet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can we
sure, no
wait?
problem.
Okay. Then we'll be start on 2:05. Thank you. So hi guys, hope you guys are finished taking your lunch. and thanks for staying with us until the last talk today. I will be continuing to host our third talk along with my partner Ziyu, and don't forget to fill out the attendance form that we provided just now. And also thank you for Miss Call that your patience waiting for us for these 5 minutes. Thank you. So the topic for the third talk is to avoid top three student financial trap and win the game. Generally, we do not realize that what financial trap we have faced or may face in the future. And now, with the help of an expert, Ms. Ko HuiMing, our guest speaker for this talk to enlighten us. Ms. Ko has been in the financial industry for more than 3 years. She is excited to deliver values and better assurance to people's lives through a holistic financial planning process. More than 100 individuals and families have benefited from the financial planning and are progressively growing together with her to achieve better in their lives. HuiMing holds a strong belief that everyone deserves to have a progressive, better lifestyle from time to time, and this can be done with a planning done right. In these sessions, Ms. Kaur is going to share, avoid top three financial traps, and win the games. Without any further ado, I'd like to invite Ms. Kaur to start the long-awaited talk. Ms. Kaur, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Poi, for the sweet introduction. Hi guys, how are you guys doing after the lunch? After having lunch, are you feeling a little bit sleepy already? Usually that's the case after you're having lunch, then you're going to feel sleepy. All right. So right now, I think I would want everyone to do some stretching with me. All right. So that you will feel refreshed and you will stay awake throughout my session so that you don't fall asleep throughout the session, So everyone just, stretch yourself. And when you are doing stretching, you have to stretch all the way out. And you have to make that noise like, oh, no, so that it really works out. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's not real, all right? But I hope that stretch makes you feel refreshed again. Okay, and I will try to make this session as fun as possible because we know that financial stuff can be pretty boring sometimes, and financial stuff are kind of rigid at times. Well, that's how they actually design it because they didn't want you to know the magic behind it. So they try to make it as boring as possible and as rigid as possible so that you didn't want to study anything about finances at all. And you are already inside this financial trap. Okay. So guys, it's very important to learn about finances and to have your own financial planning because that is actually the most direct and simplest way that you can help yourself out for a better life. Okay. Of course, it's not just about the amount of money that you're getting, but more importantly, it's actually of how you are managing the money yourself. Okay. So I'll be taking over the screen. Let me share my screen. Hold on for a second. Is my screen up?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, before I even started, I would like to ask whether in this room, you are a student or you are actually a working adult. If you're a student, can you just type 1 in the chat room? If you're working adults, can you type 2 in the chat room? Okay, all students. Okay, cool. That's great because I want to make sure that you are actually in the correct session because today's session is about how to avoid the top 3 student financial trap and how you can actually win the game throughout till the end. Okay, so if you are a working adult, probably you can still stay on this session. Maybe you have some friends who are still students. You can tell them what they should do and what are the things that they need to avoid. Okay, so a little bit introduction about myself. My name is HuiMing, and I'm a financial integrator and content creator. I have close to 3 years of financial planning experiences, and I have helped more than 100 individuals and families in financial planning, which most of them I will help to preserve up to R500,000 of assets per individuals. And I've also handled close to R1 million of investment funds in total. And my specialization is that I have this MAD method to help individuals to achieve their financial goals in the shortest time possible. And this is also something that I'm going to share with you at the very end of the session on how we can actually use this MAD method to win the game, to win the financial game. All right. And I have my own hashtag of your pretty advisor. It was actually something fun in the very beginning because I just want to have some fun, share about some of my stories in my financial journey. And I thought of why not I just go by something that people might not, might not choose the name. Like who would ever say that he or she himself is pretty or handsome, right? So I choose to have this like very bold move, like, oh, I'm your pretty advisor, so you have to remember me in that sense. A little bit vain, but I hope that captures your attention and you will remember me throughout my hashtag. So I do share some of the financial information through in my own Facebook page, and I am also using the hashtag as well. So if you want to look for more financial advice or information, you can also look for the hashtag over there. Okay, so the key takeaways for today's session, there are three key takeaways. The first one is to identify and to find ways on how we can avoid the top 3 student financial traps. And from there, I'm going to share with you the 3 basic actions that every one of you over here can start taking it after today's session. And the third thing that you're going to take away today is that you're going to learn how to win the game with the 3 steps method. All right. So are you guys ready? If you're ready, say yes in the chat room and let's go. All right, cool. So first of all, I will need to share a very basic idea of what financial planning is all about so that you have a basic understanding of what are the things that it's going to be. Okay, so I want you all to imagine this. Imagine that the money you are getting is like the running water from the tap. All right, so it's going to fill up the pail below it. Okay, but unfortunately, there is actually a hole on the pail, right? Which actually resembles the expenses in your daily life, which is the outflow of your money. All right, when you are paying for your food, when you're paying for your clothing, you're attending to someone's wedding, and then you have to buy them presents, or some your friend's birthday, and then whichever thing that is going to spend, which you are going to spend money off, is going to cause this outflow, which is the hole that is happening on your bucket. Okay, so if the hole is very big, then of course the outflow is going to be very, very fast. All right, if the hole is small, then the outflow is going to be very small, very slow. Okay, so when the hole is big, but the flow of the water is slow, then it means that your money that you are earning or the money that you are having right now is not catching up with the speed of your spending, right? And vice versa. If the hole is small, but the flow of the water is fast, it means that your earning and saving are actually faster than the speed of you spending the money. Okay, so this is the inflow and this is the outflow of your money. And whatever that is left inside the bucket is actually your savings. Okay, so this is a very basic idea of what financial planning is all about. It's about earning the money, getting the money, and then after that, spending it off, and also having some savings inside your own bucket. Okay, and the financial traps that we are going to talk about today is actually causing the outflow from your bucket. All right, so we have to be aware of it, and then we have to identify what are these financial traps so that we can try to manage the whole as much as possible. All right. Okay, so let's go to the first financial trap. And I think a lot of people is actually having this kind of issue, which is a lot of students think that they are actually broke. Okay, what do I mean by broke? Okay, because for students, we do not have an income source. What we're relying is merely probably on our own savings, or if you have any loans, or maybe your parents are giving you money. So that is the reason why when you don't have an income source, people think that, oh, I'm so broke, I'm so poor, I cannot do anything extra, right? But actually, is that the case? So I'm going to ask this question. Have you ever had this thought that, oh, well, I'm a student, I have no income, and that's why there's nothing much I can do? Do you actually have this thought before? If a yes, say it's a yes. If it's a no, then let me know it's a no. Like, have you ever thought it before? Like, oh, I'm a student, I don't have any income source, and I can't do anything much. Oh, no. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's pretty out of my expectation. Oh, well, not so much, because probably you guys are from the investment club. So this thought might not have crossed your mind. But actually, a lot of people, they might have this thought that, oh, I'm a student, I do not have any income. So there's nothing much I can do, and they always think that, oh, they are broke. All right, then I'm going to go with the next question. So where does your money actually comes from? Because you're a student, you do not have any income source, you're not working, right? You're not working. So where does your money come from? Oh, Weixing actually work. Oh, so you guys work part-time? That's good. That's good. That's like one thing that I hope when I was in my university time, I hope I would actually get a part-time job, or working while I was studying, because that is the time that we are actually having the most time out of it. While you're studying, you actually have a lot of time. You can do extra stuff, you can join activities, and also you can study extra stuff. And that only happens when you're a student. When you are actually a working adult, you don't really have that much time to invest yourself into some other sessions, some other to pick up some of other skills. All right. So actually, what I'm going to share is that actually our money, us as a student, it doesn't really have to come from part-time, from getting a job. Even if today you are not working, you are not a part-timer, you are not doing anything else to get your income, you are still getting your income. As what I have said just now, which I actually accidentally said it, that you're actually getting your income from your own savings, or probably you're actually getting the support from your family, or maybe you are actually getting the money from your scholarship, just like what I did. Okay, so when I was a very young little girl, I already know the importance of savings. So when I was in my university time, I was actually relying a lot on the savings that I have actually saved up while I was during my high school time. Okay, so actually the money comes from the savings, and also maybe our parents, and also all these loans, right? Okay, so the problem here is that we don't know where our money is from and has gone to. When we're talking about students were thinking that they were very broke, is because they do not know where the money is coming from, and how, and where is the direction, where is the money is going to go to. All right, but I'm very glad that a lot of you here, you guys know where the money is coming from. And the income source, it doesn't really have to come from your work. It can come from your savings. It can come from the dividends from your investments. It can also come from a gift from other people, like maybe some ang pao, or maybe some contributions to you, or whatever things. As long as the money is coming into your pocket, those are actually the income you are getting it. But a lot of people might miss this out. Okay, and also probably because of the amount of the money, they might think that, oh, I'm just getting 100 ringgit out of it, so it may look very small, so I might not want to consider that 100 ringgit as part of my income. So which will cause you to fall into the first trap, because you were thinking that, oh, you're so broke, you don't have so much money, But in fact, you're actually collecting monies from probably 100 ringgit from A and 200 ringgit from B and maybe 50 ringgit from other place. If you accumulate all this money, it's going to be a very large sum of amount. Okay, so the problem here is that it's not that we are broke. It's just that we do not know where the money is actually coming from and where it has actually gone to. Okay? So the solution here that we can address this question is that you need to start recording your money. You need to start to record the inflow and outflow of your money. Right? And this is very important, not just only when you are a student, but when you have started working. After you have graduated, you start to find a job and you want to build your family, or you want to go travel, or you want to do something bigger, buy a house, or achieve all your dreams. You still need to do this action. You still need to record your inflow and outflow of your money, because if you don't, you wouldn't know where is your money coming from, and you wouldn't know where you have actually spent your money, and it's going to cause you a lot of disaster at the end of the day. Okay, when I'd like to share some of my stories here. Throughout today's session, I try to make it as fun as possible. Like I said, I will tell more stories and less, there will not be a lot of calculation throughout this sharing, because I didn't want to bore you. Okay, so my story, this story is about when I was in my university time. I do not have that. I do not record my own inflow and outflow of money. So whenever I get the money from my PTPTN loan, and at the very beginning of the month, every time I get my money, and I feel very delightful, because I feel so rich, When I look into my account, there's like, 1,000 ringgit left in my account. So what I will do is that I will just spend it off. But at the end of the day, when I try to trace back all my expenses, I just couldn't recall what are the things that I have actually spent on. And because you don't have a record of it and you can't recall it, so the money is basically this like throwing into the sea. There's no trace out of it. So it's very important to record your inflow and outflow of money, and you have to do it. It's good to start from now, and then you have to continue doing it until when you're started working, or when you have already worked for a very long time. You still need to continue to do it to avoid all these traps. Okay, and that will go to our second financial trap, which is pure pleasure. Yes, you got it right. It's pure pleasure, not peer pressure. Okay, why do I say it's pure pleasure, right? Have you ever had a scenario when you were about to, usually when it happens on my side, is that after every assignment, me and my friends, all my classmates, we will definitely have a celebration every time the assignment. All right, I'm not sure if it happens to all of you as well. All right, so when it comes to this celebration, we will go out, hang out, probably go to some karaoke. I believe at your age, probably you guys just don't go to red box anymore. But when in our age, we really love to go red box, especially after our assignment. We want to relax ourselves. We will go to red box. We will go for a karaoke, and then we will have a very great lunch or great dinner, and then we're going to spend money on that day. Okay, so when this scenario happens, usually tell me frankly, will you actually reject your friend and tell them that, no, I don't think I want to join you guys. I think I'm just going to, stay in my room. Right? So tell me, are you going to join your friends, or are you just going to reject them? Usually I would say that we will actually join the group, because humans live in herds. All right, they can't actually survive by themselves hardly. Okay, so whenever your friends ask you, then definitely you will actually accept the invitation and you will just go. If not, your friend will say, bei cham one, why you bei cham eh? Why you like that one? I don't want to friend with you already. Right? And then after a while, when your friends did not invite you for other kinds of gathering or maybe lunch or dinner, then you will say, hey, why you bo jio one? Why you every time bo jio me? Like that, right? So it's very difficult when we have peers, when we have friends around, it's very difficult for us to say no from them, right? So, and the next question is, for what would be your choice when it comes to coffee? Is it going to be a 1 ringgit 20 cents kopi or is it going to be a 12 ringgit Starbucks coffee? Which one would you prefer if you're a student? Oh, you just say it's going to go for a Starbucks coffee. You have Milo Gosong. Okay, water. All right, Milo Peng, Gao Gao. Okay, nice. Okay, so usually we will go for those that is actually cheaper in price, correct? But it comes back to the peer pleasure financial traps. When your friend asks you, hey, let's go for Starbucks coffee, are you going to tell a friend that, hey, don't want let's go kopi or are you going to say like, hey, don't want I don't want Starbucks coffee, right? Or maybe if there's only one friend, you might be able to convince these friends to, hey, let's go for coffee or I don't want Starbucks coffee, too expensive already. But if you are going out with like a bunch of friends and most of them says they're going to go for Starbucks coffee, then it's very difficult for you to convince this whole bunch of friends, right? And it's very difficult, like what I said just now, it's very difficult to not join them for coffee because they might not ask you the next round, or probably you're going to be left out after that. All right. So in order to mix together with your friends and in order to, uh, feel happy with your friend together, so most of the time you will definitely follow what your friends want. So you'll go for this Starbucks coffee, even though that your budget could be only 5 ringgit maximum. Okay, so the problem here is that when we have this kind of friends, of course I'm not saying that they are bad friends, just that you have to let them know that you are actually having a budget, and you need to tell them that these are my budget, and I would really like to go coffee with you, but maybe we can we can just go like 1 or 2 times per month and not so frequent, right? And try to reduce the spending for instant pleasure. Okay, so the solution here is to actually to have a budget to avoid overspending. And this budget, you need to tell your friend. You really have to tell your friend, because if you don't tell your friend, they're going to invite you for more Starbucks coffee or more karaoke's or more, entertainment movies and things and stuff that you should not have been spending off. But because you did not tell them your budget, and maybe you yourself do not have a budget at all, then it's going to cause you to overspend all this money. And don't forget, because you guys are just students, you do not have like a very active income source. You can work part-time, yes, but it's still not a very stable income source. Okay, so when you do not have a very stable income source, or maybe some of them they're just relying on the savings, or maybe some of the scholarships from the PTPTN loans and things like that, the amount of money that you are having is very, very limited. So you need to try to control within your means, and that is why budgeting comes in handy. It's very important to have your own budget. And remember, never compare your budget to your friends, because you wouldn't know that they actually have more money in their savings account. They could have 3 or 4 part-time jobs they are taking up, but you are not having any part-time jobs. You're just relying on your savings, you're just relying on your loans. It's going to affect you a lot. And you didn't want to, after attending to your friends, after buying your Starbucks coffee, after spending so much money on the entertainment, and then for the rest of the month, you're going to just eat bread. you didn't want that to happen to you. So you definitely need to have a budget to avoid all this overspending and to pull you out from this financial trap. Okay, so you have to have your own mindset on this to have a budget. Okay, and the third financial trap over here is actually what we call it as ignorance. Okay, and this relates so much to me because when I was in my first year, I remember I was that there was one day they actually assemble all of the students together in the hall, and they announced that, okay, for those that who want to apply for this PTPTN loan, then please fill up the forms and prepare the documents, and then after that, after 3 days, we're going to have another meeting to get here again, and then you will need to submit all your documents to the school. All right, and at that point of time, I didn't know anything about loans. But what I know about this PTPTN loan is that, oh, once I sign up for this PTPTN loan, I don't have to pay for the tuition fee myself, which means I can just take this loan and someone is going to pay for my tuition fee. So that is the thing that actually crossed my mind. And I know nothing else other than that. And when I was signing up for this PTPTN loan, I really know nothing about it. And I just relying on my friend. So my friend told me that, oh, it's good to have this loan so that you don't have to pay for yourself. Then with that, I just fill out the form, and then I just prepare all the documents, and then I just submit the documents to the school without knowing the consequences, without knowing the commitment of taking up this loan. And I feel like I'm so naive and I'm so stupid at that time. Because at the end of the day, we have to actually return this loan. When we started working, when we graduated, we need to pay back this loan. But at that point of time, because I wasn't being raised in a family that has very high financial awareness, and I do not have any chances to communicate with my family members or even friends. We don't even talk about financial stuff. It's pretty sensitive in that sense. So no one has ever tell me about anything about loans. So at that point of time, I didn't know that, oh, I actually need to pay back within like a period of time, and there's actually interest within it. Of course, we know that PTPTN interest is just a very small amount. So in a way, I feel very grateful that I actually experienced this. But in another way, I also feel so sorry for myself. Okay, so for PTPTN, it's still manageable because the interest is low. It's not that high, and it's manageable. And probably for now, I'm just paying like 150 ringgit per month for the loan repayment. So it's still manageable. But imagine that if I have actually signed up for like a housing loan or even like a personal loan that is going to have like 5% or even 15% of the interest, and by not knowing how much money that I can afford to pay off, this ignorance of mine is going to cause me in deep trouble. All right. So the point that I'm going to bring out here is that we must always know that what are the things that we are actually up to and what are the commitments that is behind all this thing. All right, by signing up the loans, what does it mean? It means that, oh, you have to repay the loan every month. And how much is the loan repayment that you have to pay to the bank? All right, you have to understand the commitments behind all this thing, and then you have to refer back to your budget and see if you are ready or not to pay off all these commitments. Okay, because if you are not ready to pay off all these commitments, imagine you already pinjam all the loans, but at the end of the day, you can't even repay half of the loan. Say, for example, you have to pay like 1,000 ringgit every month to the bank, but in fact, your budget is only allowing you to pay like 500 ringgit max. So what's going to happen? They're going to claw back whatever money that you have actually borrowed from them. And if you are using this money to, let's say, buy a car or buy a house, they're going to just take up your car or your house. All right, so it defeats the purpose of why you are taking out this loan in the very first place. So you must know the commitments, you must know what are the things you're up to. Okay, so the solution here is that you must always know your limit and understand the commitments, and always refer it back to your own budget and know that how much responsible that you can actually take up. Okay, so the 3 basic actions that you can start doing right now is, well, first, of course, is to record your own money, the inflow and outflow of your money. And second is to have a monthly or daily budget. It depends. For me, for myself, I'm actually having a monthly budget, and I will review it every single year. Yep. Okay. And the third thing is that you must know your limit and also understand the commitments that you can actually afford to pay for. All right. So these 3 actions they are actually very basic stuff. I believe some of you have already maybe you guys have been doing it all the while, but do not look down on these 3 basic actions, because it's definitely going to make a very great difference to your life. Okay. Okay. So before I move into the math method, any questions so far from the floor? Or do you have any other financial issues that you have faced in your problems? Okay, so far so good. Thank you. All right, if you have any financial issues that you are currently facing in your life, you can also type it in the chat room, and I'll see how I can actually help you out of it. Okay, so now that we know that there are actually 3 financial traps, maybe let us refresh our memory. So the first one is to not to think that you are broke as a student, because you are actually having a lot of income source from your savings, from the loans, or even from your parents, or whichever way. All right, that always have there is always an income source out of it. Okay, and the second thing is that is the peer pleasure. Always let your friends or family members know about your budget, how much you can actually afford on all those luxurious items or all those entertainment stuff. Let them know your budget. All right. And the third thing is about ignorance. Okay, always do a background check and get more information and know the commitments of signing up all these financial tools. All right, so that you don't get yourself in deep troubles. Okay, so now we're going to win the game, because after all, financial planning, the purpose of financial planning is for us to achieve our goals, and we want to make sure that we always win the game. And in order to win the game, these are the 3 steps math method that all of you can actually use it. You can implement it on the spot after today's session. All right. So what is the math method? What does math method consist of? First is the mindset. The mindset is very important. And you need to have a good mindset before you can actually move in to have great actions, and then to actually reach your destination. All right. So take for example, let's say for example, I'm going to save up a traveling fund of 3,000 ringgit at the end of the year, or maybe in 1 year's time. Okay, so you must have the mindset of, okay, it's going to, if I were to save up this traveling fund of 3,000 ringgit in a year time, then it's going to have a lot of challenge in between, because you're a student right now. Your income source might not be stable, and you might not have as much income as possible. So you must mentally prepare yourself that, oh, it's not going to be easy, and it's going to take you a lot of time, or it might need extra effort. You have to put in extra effort in order for you to achieve this traveling fund of 3,000 ringgit. Right? So the mindset of having there's challenge over there, it has to be there. After that, you have to have the mindset of, okay, So I know that it's going to be hard for me to achieve to achieve this goal. But how would I feel when I successfully achieve my goal? If I can successfully save up this traveling fund of 3,000 ringgit, I will have that gratification of, oh, now I can have money to travel the world, and that will enhance my life experience, and I'm going to feel happy and more motivated, and probably it's going to give me better outcome in my life after all. So first of all, you need to have the mindset of, oh, it's going, definitely there's going to be challenge, but you know that you have to preserve, you have to stay strong and fight against it, and you have to have the gratification on, it's going to make me happy. So this is very important mindset, that when we're using this method, it has to come first. Okay, so once you have your mindset right, we're going to start to take actions towards it, because we know that our goal is going to save up this traveling fund of 3,000 ringgit. So in the actions column, there's actually 5 steps, not 5 steps, 5 factors that we have to look into it. First is your commitments. All right, so we have to look into it. Okay, so the amount of traveling fund that I want to have is 3,000 ringgit in total, but I only have 12 months time. So by doing basic simple calculations, I know that I'm going to start saving 250 ringgit per month, every month, in order for me to achieve my 3,000 ringgit traveling fund, right? So the time frame that I'm having here is a 12 months time frame. Okay, and it goes to the choices of tools that you want to save your money in. Because oops, I'm so sorry, there's an ambulance passing by my house. All right, so the third thing that we have to look into is actually the choices of tools. Are you going to save this money in your piggy bank, or are you going to save this money in the fixed deposit, or are you going to just invest this money, or whichever way? So we need to find the correct choice of tools based on the goals that you are having. And the fourth factor we have to look into is actually on your risk appetite. Can you afford to actually lose out this amount of money, or is it okay to just put it into some tools that is very safe but does not give you good interest at the end of the day? And the fifth factor that we have to look into is on the allocation. Whether you want to put maybe a little bit in your piggy bank and a little bit in your fixed deposit, or do you want to put everything in your piggy bank or into fixed deposit? So the allocation also it will affects your actions as well. So over here, I'm just going to focus on 1 and 2, because for 3, 4, and 5 is going to depends a lot on the situation. Okay. So the actions here is that I will need to save up 250 ringgit every month in order for me to achieve my 3,000 ringgit traveling fund. All right, so these are the actions that I have to take, and I have to tell myself that, oh, so now I know I need to have a 250 ringgit savings every month. So then you have to look back into your own budgeting. Remember the 3 basic actions that we have to take is to record your inflow and outflow of your money. And after that, you need to have your own budget. And the third is that you need to know what are the commitments that you are up to. So that actually relates into this math method, because when it comes to the actions, you know what are your goals already. You have to look into your own budget. How much money are you left with that you can actually start saving up for this goal? If you do not have enough money to fund for this traveling fund, then what are the actions that you can take next? So for example, if you're a student right now, you are getting like maybe 1,000 ringgit from your loans, or maybe from your scholarships every month. And after deducting all your expenses, after paying your tuition fee, after paying your food, your clothes, your utilities bills, and everything, you're just left with probably 200 ringgit. So from there, you know that there's actually a deficit of 50 ringgit in between in order for you to save up for this traveling fund. So what are the next action that you're going to take? Are you going to find a part-time job in order for you to get more money so that you can fund for this traveling fund? Or alternative, are you going to cut down your expenses? Maybe you don't want to spend so much on the food, you don't want to spend so much on the entertainment, and you are going from there you can actually save like another 50 ringgit to fund for your traveling fund. So that also goes into the action part, that what are the things that you have to do it? What are the missing gaps in between? How much money is still missing? What are the deficits of amount of money that is stopping you from achieving this traveling fund goal? All right. So by listing out all the actions that you need to take, you're going to have a very clear direction on, oh, so by doing this, I know that I will be able or I won't be able to achieve this traveling fund. Okay, so it's very important to get the correct actions. Okay. And the third thing, the D stands for destination. All right, so what does that mean for destination? So along the way, when you are carrying out all those actions to achieve this traveling fund of 3,000 ringgit, you must always review your current condition. All right, whether is it on track or is it off track already? And you have to keep on asking yourself, is that really what you want? Because for certain conditions, some of them they might be saving a lot of money for their goals, but at the end of the day they find out that, oh, this is not the goal that I actually wanted. All right, and I think it's too heavy for me to save up so much money, and it kind of like affects their current daily life. So it makes them not happy while they are actually funding for this traveling fund. So when you're doing the reviews, you have to also ask your own a lot of questions like, oh, am I actually on the right path? Is it actually on track? And things like that. Okay. And the second thing that you have to do in this section is that you have to ask yourself, is there any changes that you would like to have over here? So say, for example, when you are taking the actions, you are actually taking a part-time job in order for you to have extra funding for this traveling fund, right? But it actually takes up a lot of your time, and you do not have enough time to study for your exam, and your results become so bad, and then you just got whacked by your parents. Okay, so from there you know that, oh, this might not be a good action, because by taking up part-time job, it means that it will actually affect my studies, my results, and everything. So that is not going to do me any good, because you already pay for your this tuition fee, you already pay for your college fee, and you can't just waste everything just because you want to have this 3,000 ringgit traveling fund, but it actually affects your future. All right, so it's not worth taking. So when we are actually reviewing on our destination, we have to ask ourselves, if is there any changes that we need to do right over here? Is it affecting anything in our life that probably it could have better solutions out of it? So this is the 3 steps MAT method. And by using the MAT method, after you have asked yourself all these questions, you can actually make a table out of it by putting your goals at the very top, and then segmented it into 3 different sections, which is the mindset, actions, and also destination, and write down all the questions and all the actions that actually relates to your goal. Okay, so from here, from this table, it's going to give you a very clear understanding of, oh, the mindset is that the challenges is not going to be easy, it's going to take time, it will need extra effort, but the gratification is that it's going to give me better life experience, I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to be motivated. And the actions here is that, oh, I need to commit 250 ringgit per month, and the time is 12 months time, and the choice of tools, I'm just going to put it in my piggy bank, and I know I'm not a risk taker, I'm just going to just let it sail smoothly, and my allocation is 100% into my piggy bank. All right, so I'm just going to just save slowly. That's my actions taken. Okay, and the destination is that when you are reviewing, you have to ask yourself, is it on track? Is that what you want? And can the process goes faster or not? if you ask yourself this question, can the process goes faster or not, then we can actually goes back to the action and we can do some amendments on the action side based on these 5 factors that we have actually listed it down. All right. So what we can do if we want the process to go faster, there are a few ways. First, you can actually increase your commitment. Instead of just saving 250 ringgit every month, now you can actually save like 300 ringgit if you can. All right. Or alternatively, you can actually lengthen the time. Instead of 12 months, now you can actually put it into like maybe 18 months or 20 or 24 months. So when you lengthen the time, your commitment gets smaller, or you remain your commitments, you're going to get more money out of it. Or alternatively, you can actually change the choice of tools. Now you don't put it into your piggy bank. You can put it into fixed deposit, which is going to give you like 3% interest per year. So with that, you're going to have more money and you don't have to save so much by your own. And the list goes on and on and on and on. So when you are reviewing, you have to ask yourself, is this really what you want? Or is there anything that you want it to enhance? And everything can be adjusted based on the questions that you have actually popped out during the reviews. Okay, and also the second is to ask yourself if there are any changes in action that is required. Are you facing any difficulties? Is 250 ringgit per month too much to commit into it? Okay. So by listing out all these questions and everything that you have to do, the amount of money that you have to commit, the time that you are having, you will have a very clear understanding of how this thing is going to affect your life and whether you are going to be able to achieve your goals or not. Okay, so this is a very simple, I would say, method that I would like to share to all of you, and you can actually use it on the spot after today's session. Okay, so that's all about it. Just a short and sweet session for all of you. So I have addressed on the 3 very important, the 3 top student financial trap, which is don't think that as students you are broke, because there's actually income from all over the places. And second is on peer pleasure. Okay, don't just focus on instant pleasure. You need to have like a budget for yourself so that you know that how much money you can actually spend. And also the third thing is that try to expose yourself to more financial information so that you know that what are the consequences and what are the commitments that you have to take it up from there. Okay, and also the 3 basic actions that you can start doing it is to record your money inflow and outflow and have a monthly daily budget. And the third one is to know your commitments, your limit, what are the limits. And finally is this MAT method. All right, so yep, so that's all I would like to share to all of you today, and thank you so much. You can actually follow, get in touch with me by scanning this link, which I will also share my LinkedIn profile and also Facebook, and also some of the information in the link as well. And also because this session is especially for the TARUC College University students. So currently, if you want to know more about your own financial condition, or maybe you have some financial issues that you're currently having, right? You can actually fill in the feedback form, which I'm going to paste my link over there. And yeah, because financial issues are a little bit sensitive, so if you don't feel comfortable, asking the questions here, you can just scan the QR code or click the link later, which I will paste it in the chat room later, and then you can type in any financial questions that you are facing right now, and I will try my best to answer all of you. Okay, and currently we're also giving out like a free 30 minutes session chat. If let's say you have like certain financial goals that you want to achieve, but you have no idea how much commitments that you should give it to yourself every month, or you have no idea what is the time duration, or you have no idea what are the choices of tools that you should be using, then we can hop on for a very quick 30 minutes call, and we'll see how we can work things out from there. All right. Okay, so that's all from my side today, and I hope you guys have benefited from the sharing today. So over to you, MC of the day. Thank you.
All right, a huge thank you to HuiMing for sharing all the useful tips to prevent us youngsters from falling into financial traps in this tempting society. Personally, for me, I also realized that how important financial planning is when I'm proceeding to my degree. And I totally see eye to eye with HuiMing on why basic financial matters are not being taught in primary or secondary schools. So moving on, we'll proceed to the Q&A session. You guys can ask questions through the Slido link posted in the chat box. And HuiMing will address your question, and I will address the questions and HuiMing will answer. So let's give the participants some time to type in their questions. Seems like HuiMing's talk is very clear and concise, and our participants are quite clear with your presentation, and there isn't any much question. So I think that there is only one. I'll read it out. The question reads, I'm currently comfortable with my financial situation right now, but I know it isn't enough realistically, but I'm not desperate enough to get a job. What should I do? I think he or she wants to mean how can he or she keep up with the financial situation with a job?
Okay. From my understanding, there was like two parts in this question. First is that you're actually living very comfortably, which means you do not have any financial condition at all. I would like to ask more is that when you say that you are living very comfortably, are you actually relying on this amount of money for your daily living, or you are not actually relying on this amount of money for your living? Okay, so if you are relying on this amount of money, in what sense are you actually relying on it? First, you're actually getting interest from this amount of money to support your daily living lifestyle, or you are actually exhausting this amount of money from time to time. If you are in the option one, which is to relying on the dividends or interest for your daily living lifestyle, then I think I would say it actually depends on you whether you want to get a job or not. It's entirely up to you, because you already have enough money to fund for your own living lifestyle. All right, but if it is on the option two, which means that you're actually exhausting the money for your daily living lifestyle, then you might actually need to think about it, because at the end of the day, this amount of money is going to be finished using up as well. So you need to have a backup plan out of it. So the first part of the question is that whether which kind of comfortably situation that you're actually having. And for the second part is that you were saying that you didn't want to get a job yet, right? but you are actually afraid that it's going to affect your life. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so in that sense, I think it actually depends on what goals do you have in your life. So say, for example, if you have a goal that you want to travel around the world, then from there, you can actually look for jobs that is related to the goals that you want. So if you want to travel around the world, what are the jobs that you can actually do? Maybe you can be a nomad, writing up stuff and introducing traveling places to other people. And from there, you can actually get some token of some out of it. Or nowadays people are actually using YouTubes or TikToks and stuff like that. And you can also share some of the interesting places, since you were saying that money is not quite a problem for you. So from there, you can actually go traveling, and then you can actually take photos or take videos and then tell them what you think about that place. And then from there, you think of ways to make money out of it. So if you have a goal, you will definitely find a way and find jobs that can actually match into your goals. All right. So this is a perfect scenario that if you have a goal, but I know that a lot of people, they don't actually have a goal. And that is like a biggest problem, I would say. So if you do not have a goal, then my advice to all of you is that try to find something that you are interested in. Okay, try to polish up certain skills, certain soft skills that nobody else can actually take over. For example, like writing, like our second speaker that she has shared. Communication is actually one of the soft skills that it cannot be replaced by any other people, because everyone has different style. Or even writing cannot be replaced, it's irreplaceable, because everyone has like different style of writing. Some could be very formal, some could be very funny, or some could be very different kind of style. So if you really have no idea like what jobs you should in, or you don't feel like you want to do certain jobs, or you don't want to do those 9 to 5 jobs, which is very routine, and you don't like it, then find something that you are interested in, so that at least you get the soft skills. And next time, even if you don't like the job anymore, you can still have these soft skills with you. Okay, so that is my advice to you. So I hope that answers the question.
All right. There's a small question in the chat box by Chin Kwan. Which application can Ms. HuiMing recommend to us that will help us track our monthly or annual expenses?
Yes. Okay. Basically, I would say that all the monthly tracking expenses tools in the Google Store or App Store, they're actually pretty similar. But the one that I'm using is called, wait, let me have a look. It's called Ripple Wallet. Okay. Can I show? I don't think I can show. It's Ripple Wallet. It has a W, green colored W on it. Okay, the reason why I'm using this Ripple Wallet is that I can set budget for my monthly expenses. And there are columns like fixed expenses and flexible expenses, and also unexpected conditions where I can actually key in all my expenses. So it doesn't really matter like what kind of apps you are using, as long as you find it comfortable to use and it fits your style, and that will do. As long as it helps to keep your record, then that should do. So there's no like very specific applications that I would recommend. It all depends on what kind of style that you are looking for. Yeah.
All right. Ms. HuiMing, if you don't mind, can I please present my screen so that you can know what questions to expect?
Yeah, sure. Please take a word.
Okay, so the second question, in this day and age, how much money or income would be enough to live comfortably?
Oh, okay. That's a very subjective question because everyone have different kind of lifestyle. If you can live on a very minimum basis, like there's no commitment and it's just yourself. You don't have to fund for your family members or you don't have children and things like that. It's just by yourself, and it's okay for you to just eat normal food and live in a very small, simple house. And you are not looking for luxurious item, right? Then, well, it can go up to very, very low amount of income. All right, even 2,000 ringgit per month of income, you're going to have a surplus out of it. Okay, so it goes back to what kind of lifestyle that you're actually looking for.
Yep. All right. Okay, so next question. So far, we still are the student. Is there any financial plan that is suitable for us students?
Okay. When you talk about financial plan, can I understand more like what do you mean by financial plan?
I
Like
think
financial plan.
maybe such as the saving plans.
Okay, so it's more into like investment, savings plan kind of stuff. Okay, so
So
if that is what you're looking for, you're asking for, it actually depends on, like what I say, remember there was actually 5 factors we have to look into. First is we have to look into how much money you can actually save up for this. Because different plans, they have like a minimum amount of money that you have to deposit in. So if you have like 100 ringgit, they have like a certain 100 ringgit tools. And you have like 1,000 ringgit, that's like 1,000 ringgit tools. All right. But for beginners, if you're looking for investments and the capital that you're having right now is very little, I would suggest that you can actually look for, if your risk appetite is very low, you can go for something like money market or bonds, all right, which has lesser fluctuations. Or alternatively, if you feel that you can take up more risk, you can actually try out mutual funds in the equity markets. All right. So that is for like people with very low capital. But if you have greater capital, you have more capitals, right? You can actually try onto maybe like stocks market, local stocks, or maybe foreign stocks. Maybe get involved into some of the foreign currencies as well. So you actually have to go back into how much is your capital, because different capitals have different types of investment tools that we can actually go for.
So if you're still interested on knowing this, you can hit up the 30 minutes chat session with HuiMing so that she can help you on this.
Thanks for promoting.
All right. Okay, so the next question. What is your recommendation for students when doing budget allocation?
This is also very subjective because it depends on the type of lifestyle you want to have. But if we were to say the thumb of rule, of course there is a thumb of rule, which is you have to set like 50% maximum is for your daily expenses, which includes like your utilities, your food, your petrol, transportation, and all these things. And 30% of it is for flexible expenses, which means like entertainment or any additional stuff that you want to buy. You want to hang out with your friends, you want to go movie, additional stuff is considered in the flexible column, which is going to take up around 30%, and 20% of your money should be saved up for your future goals. So that is like a thumb of rule. But if you want to be very specifically based on your condition, then I will have to understand what kind of financial condition you are in right now before I can actually suggest you. But that is basically the thumb of rule, which is 50, 30, 20.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's move on to another quite interesting question. I want a girlfriend, but not the additional financial burden. Going Dutch seems unattractive. I think he or she means Holland, is it? Netherlands, I'm not sure. Should I start a girlfriend fund, and how much would be enough?
It's very subjective as well, because it depends on what kind of girlfriend you want to have. If the girlfriend is very minimal, it's very minimalist, that kind of stuff, then you don't have to spend so much on the girlfriend. But if the girlfriend is that kind of I want luxurious item, then of course you have to have more money for the girlfriend. All right. Yeah, but in a point, this person is right, because by having a girlfriend, it's definitely going to give you more financial burdens. So you have to ask yourself, are you ready for this commitment or not? If you're not ready, and the girlfriend is requesting you to, pay off all her bills and pay for all her food and things like that, then it's going to make you a lot of troubles. All right. So an advice for everyone here is that when you find a girlfriend or boyfriend, right, you need to communicate with your partners on these financial items, whether you are the one that's going to pay for everything, or you guys can actually share it out. And it's very important to do this, so that it will help to maintain the balance between you and the other half. If not, after a while, when you get so worn off, you get so frustrated, you will be thinking like, why am I the only one that is paying all the bills at all this time? Like, why me? Why are you not contributing into this relationship? All right, this thing will actually happen. Yes. So financial planning and financial stuff, it actually plays a very important role, not just personally for ourselves, but also for your other half and also for your family as well. Because a lot of time when they argue and they have like arguments, right, it's always about money. So you need to have that communication within it. Okay,
All
so
right.
it's good if you want to have a girlfriend fun. Yes, go ahead, please do so.
Okay, so please sort out your financial matters before it draws any backfire to your relationships. Okay, so the next question is a more technical question. Is Stashaway good, or is there a better platform that you can recommend?
Oh yes, Stashaway is pretty good in the sense that because they are using AI, so they have all the data analysis sorted out for you. But for myself, I don't really like Stashaway in the sense that I don't get to choose the funds that I want to invest into, because they already choose it out for you. But for beginners, if you want to get a taste of how investment works, and you really have no one helping you, there's no advisors, no friends, no family members who is good in investing, and you just want to try it out for yourself, you can start by using this Stashaway. It's a good start, but to me, I don't really like it. Yeah, because I can't control it.
All right. So lastly, it's based on personal appetite, risk appetite.
Yes. But in Stashaway, there are different choices for you, which means you can choose your type of risk appetite inside the platform. So it will entirely based on your risk appetite as well.
All right. So the second last question: to motivate myself to make money, I spend money. It feels wrong, but I guess it works.
Let me rephrase this question. To motivate myself to make money, I spend money. Oh, okay. Which means that after you work and you earn the money, you feel that you need to spend the money so that you are motivated to get the money again, right? I guess that is the question. If it's not the question, then maybe you can type in the chat box and let me know again. Okay, if that is the case, then you have to be very careful, because it's going to make you into what we call the rat race. Meaning to say, the reason why you are working today is because you want to buy other stuff. But once you buy other stuff, then you have to go back to work to buy the stuff again. So it's like a never-ending cycle. You have to work to get this thing, work and get this thing, and things just is not going to end. So of course, it works in another way, which a lot of people is actually doing it in this way. What they do is that once they work, and then they feel, because they feel demotivated working, so they will actually get a loan to buy cars or buy houses. So that actually push them, because you have to pay the loan back every month. So it kind of like push you back that you have to keep on continue working, because if you don't work, your car and your house is going to be that long away already. All right. So this is actually, I would say, a bit unhealthy, because the pushing factor is not the healthy pushing factor. You are just looking for something that to push you to keep on continue working. But at the end of the day, you're going to be worn out due to all these things. Okay, so the correct way of doing it is that you need to have like a goal plan. whole life goal plan. Like in this life, what are the things you want to achieve in your life? Do you really want to get a house? Do you really want to get a car? Or is there anything that actually can motivate you or make you happier when you talk about it? Maybe you want to start up your own business. That could be something that is more positively pushing you to continue working. I think that would be a better choice rather than, because I need to continue working, so I need to buy something. I think that is like the wrong way. So instead of that, you have to know what are the goals that you want to achieve in your life and things that can actually make you happier in a way.
All right. Okay, so the last question, how to address the overspending issue? I overspend because I always spend on good food. I believe a lot of us are like this.
Good question. It actually happens to me as well. I spend a lot of money on food. And at a point of time, I think I actually spend like 500 to 700 ringgit per month on food, especially on dessert, and which is very crazy. And that was before when I actually have my own budget. So it's very normal to have overspending issue. I believe more than 80% of people here actually have the same issue as well. Okay, so yeah, bubble tea every day. Okay, what I would do is that I would actually separate my accounts into different accounts. Okay, because right now for me, I'm actually having 3 debits card. Okay, one is I use it for my fixed expenses, and another one is for my flexible expenses, and another one is for my savings. So fixed expenses are those like daily expenses that it will auto debit all the expenses out. And the flexible expenses is where right now I use it for my food and especially my desserts. And I actually cater like 200 ringgit max inside the flexible account. So if you can separate into these 3 different accounts, every time when you want to eat something, when you want to have desserts, or if entertainment is part of it, right? Then you must remember that you can only use this flexible account card, which have 200 ringgit in it. So every time once you swipe the card, if the card cannot go through, then you know that you need to stop because there's like not much money left inside the card anymore. So you have to set a budget for yourself, like how much money that is the maximum that you can actually spend it off. Yeah. So this is the way for you to overcome the overspending issue, right? I think so far I don't think there's like any other better way, right? Yeah.
All right.
Of course, you need discipline as well. You cannot tell yourself that, okay, this is the card that I'm going to use it for my dessert. But at the end of the day, you are using like all these 3 cards. Then of course you're going to use up all your money. So you have to have like certain disciplines and commitments that, okay, I'm going to set the rules and this is the rule. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a last question in the chat box. Eugene asked, debit or credit card best for student?
Debit or credit card is best for students. Well, I don't think students you can get a credit card, right? I would say debit card would be a better choice, even though you are not a student. Actually, the purpose of credit card, I found it, is that if you are someone who cannot control expenses, I would suggest you not to have a credit card yet, because it's going to be very dangerous. Once you overspend, you're going to pay up more money to the bank. Okay, so if you are someone who cannot control expenses, you do not have a budget, you don't know where your money is coming from or going out, then I would suggest you not to have a credit card yet and stay with the debit card first. Until at a point when you feel like you are more capable of controlling your own expenses, and you know that by taking up this credit, you're going to have a way to pay off all your debts, right? Then you can have that credit card. Yep. Hope that answers.
All right. So I think that's all for our Q&A session. I believe that Ms. HuiMing has already answered all the doubts raised. All right, so we'll be moving on to the certificate presentation session. This token of appreciation is presented to appreciate the effort and time HuiMing has given to us. So we'll take a moment to take a snapshot. All participants are welcome to turn on their cameras to show some support to us. Okay, I believe we can take the photo now. So in 3, 2, 1, let's smile. All right. Can we go another one with a freestyle one? 3, 2, 1, smile. All right. Brendan or Peggy, did we get the photo? All right. So that's all for this session 3. Again, thank you very much, HuiMing, for sharing so much to us. I'll be passing the floor back to the MCs of the day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Z. Once again, thank you, Miss Samantha, Miss Iman, and Miss Cole for spending time to provide us with such a great sharing season, for spending their time with us. I believe that our participants are grateful to have them here with us today. So, dear participants, this comes to the end of our webinar series today. Please scan the QR code provided on the screen or access to the link provided in the chat box and WhatsApp group to fill up the feedback form. Please ensure that your attendance code is filled up correctly in the Google form as per the screen. Just a reminder that soft skill points will be given to all the students from all branches who have successfully registered and filled up the feedback form with a correct attendance code. Please take note that the feedback form will be closed in 15 minutes starting from now. We will stop collecting at the form at 3:35 sharp.
And And to all participants, thank you for your active participations and we look forward to seeing you at our next event. And for information, you may also follow our Facebook page, TARUC Finance and Investment Society, and Instagram, TARUCFIS, to find out more events in the upcoming semester. Take care and stay safe. See you! a reminder to all participants, please take note that the feedback form will be closed in 5 minutes. We will stop collecting the form at 3:35. Any late response will not be entertained. Thank you. Okay, guys, bye bye. Here's come to the end our event. So hope you guys stay safe and stay healthy. So bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.